Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new here, my name is Nicole, and I come on here once a week, every Sunday, just to share messages of guidance, messages of support, and just share any information that is relevant to share with the collective now. So things will be a little bit different today as the energies have shifted and big changes are upon us. But I went through a very interesting quantum healing session earlier this week and received some very, very interesting information. The healing was supposed to take me into a past life regression, but interestingly enough, I connected with the spiritual council of light from Andromeda, which are beings from the 12th dimension and above. And so they shared with me that it was very important for me to get these messages out. And so I realized over time that I have been self-censoring quite a lot for fear of people thinking that I am weird, or people thinking that I am strange, or people thinking that I am all kinds of batshit crazy. And after very many years of healing, I am finally ready to share these messages with no more censoring. So I've reached a point where I just no longer care what people think because I am fully aware of what is going on in the world around us. And the things that are happening are mad. The things that are happening are absolutely batshit crazy. And it is very, very difficult for a lot of humanity to fully understand what is happening, because what is happening, well, for one, it has never been seen on this planet. But also, secondly, we have been living essentially on a prison planet. And, it doesn't take much to see. The thing is that magic has been being used in order for us to be veiled and for us to not to be able to fully see what is going on around us. And so it starts, the people like to talk about conspiracy theories, but, really we have all been living in one great big conspiracy theory, because essentially everything about where we came from, why we are here, the truth about this planet has been a complete lie. And why has this been a lie? Well, essentially, for those of you who are not religious, I also am not religious, but I will refer to the Bible sometimes, because the Bible truly is just a book of prophecies. Now, there is a lot of things in the Bible that are not true. There are a lot of things in the Bible that are true. And there are a lot of things in the Bible that have been taken out. And the thing is, we have to understand that words are extremely limiting, because we can be saying words to one another, but we all interpret those words at our level of consciousness, at our level of understanding, at our level of experience, at our level of how we view the world. And so, depending on how we view the world, and at the end of the day, we are 8 billion people living on this planet, and every single person is looking at the world through their own lens, through their own individual experience, because everything that we have experienced in this life, including the lives that we have lived previously, and I will get into that shortly, but essentially, every single thing that we have lived and experienced in our life is affecting the way we look at this physical reality now. And the thing is, we have been programmed to look at the world through a very, very small lens. We have been taught to look at the world through only the perspective of the physical reality. But I have said it multiple times that there are multiple realities that are living one on top of the other. And it's just that there are multiple different dimensions. The third dimension, this third density, is the lowest frequency, and we mustn't look at low as being bad and high as being good. Or we've been taught to look at the world through such black and white, but really the whole world is gray, because just life itself is a paradox. And so essentially, humanity is being opened up and has been being opened up to receive this new information, to see that things are changing. And this is a transition that has been going on for many, many, many years. And so right now, I'm just sharing some of the messages that I received through that session, though I have written some things down here that I will share with you also. But essentially, this transition has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. But it is just that we who are alive at this time, and this is why there are so many people living on this planet at this time more than ever before, is because souls chose to come here to offset their karma, especially here in 2024, where Saturn is extremely present, and Saturn is the planet of karma. 2024 is the year of karma. Judgment Day is here. Many people who are religious, and even those of you who are spiritual, may have questioned, why is it that the bad people seem to get away with everything and the good people sit on their asses thinking, why am I always the one struggling? And well, the reason for that is because the principalities that have ruled this world are not the universe and the God that those of us who are beings of love and purity pray to. There are two very different gods, and I am sorry to break it to you, but some of the gods, well, one of the gods that is preached about in these churches, because the fact that we have also been led to believe that we must go into a church in order to commune directly with the universe and the higher frequencies on God, or whatever you want to call it, making us believe that we do not have a direct channel to these higher realms, is complete nonsense. Remember, sort of beautiful souls, we are soul beings having a human experience. We are not our bodies, we are not our minds. Our soul is what is animating this vessel. This vessel is simply the vehicle that allows our soul, our consciousness, which is not tangible, to come down and experience this physical reality. And because every single dimension needs to shift in order for this shift to take place, because the shift that is happening is not only happening here on this planet. The shift that is happening throughout the cosmos and throughout the galaxies. And now, if you watch movies, you will see that the themes in movies have been the same for years and years, because the movies are also what is telling us, because the movies are also programming our consciousness. And this is what predictive programming is. Now, we can look at things as being so black and white, but there is no black and white. There is just one. But as our focus and attention has been taken away, and we have been, and essentially our focus and attention is our energy, because where we send our focus and our attention is where our energy grows, is where our energy goes, and what allows things to grow. So if we don't necessarily understand, if we are not in control of our awareness and our focus, then it is easily being taken away. And this is what social media is about. This is what advertising is about. This is what the news is about. It is about taking your attention, taking your focus, so that your focus can be used for something else. Because essentially we've talked about the matrix. And what is the matrix? The matrix is simply the system, this world in which we live. And this system, this world in which we live, is a system that is highly dominated by money. But money is just a piece of paper. But each of us, 8 billion individuals, need to have that money so that we can give this money to different people so that the system can run. And by us tuning into it, and this is why the internet has been so very interesting, because essentially the fourth dimension was created when the internet was created, because suddenly things work differently. And again, the movies make us look at magic as being something that is so massive and so big. And yes, that's where we're going, because we are moving into a time where magic will come back onto the earth. But remember, we as human beings, the things that we believe, just like laws exist, because laws are not something that are tangible, but because of 8 billion people have all agreed to believe in these laws, therefore these laws are created, because our collective beliefs are what allow this thing to exist in physical reality. So essentially, when we keep saying, well, what if one person changes something? How is that going to change anything? It's about the ripple effect that it creates. The ripple effect that is created when we change, therefore we influence others to change. We give others the opportunity to change. And we believe that we can't change, but because of something called neuroplasticity, no matter what age you are, neural pathways in our brain can be changed at any age. And because when we do something repetitively, then it becomes a habit. And why does it become a habit? Why is a habit so much easier when it is ingrained? It is simply because we have repeated, really anchoring that pathway in our brain so that we can get from here to here almost instantaneously. It's like when you drive your car home, you can almost drive your car home without even thinking about it, because it's been so ingrained into you that it's just second nature. You don't even have to think about it. And so this is what this process is. This is a process of changing the neural pathways. It's almost like, even though you've taken the same road home for 20, 30, 40 years, even though there's multiple other ways to get home, but because you always take the same way home, you're not even aware of all these other opportunities that exist for you if you take all these other roads home. So essentially, this is what is happening to humanity. We are going home. We are being returned to one frequency. Because essentially what has been happening is because, and this goes back, when they talk about the fallen angels, the angels that fell from earth, that were cast out of heaven, who came down onto the earth and who made it with the daughters of men, basically creating a new race called the Nephilim. And this is where we talk about the giants, where these fallen angels that were not human, that were not of this realm, somehow came together with women, procreated, and created a new species. And so again, it's a lot of information. I'm going to try and break it down and simplify it as much as I can. But our history, our real history of this planet, relates to us sharing this planet not only with human beings, but with many, many other species of beings. But these beings are existing on this planet with us at different dimensional frequencies, because there is the third dimension, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, so on and so forth, until I don't know what dimension, to be very honest, but there are very, very many higher dimensions. And this is what the process of ascension is. And yes, we can ascend as individual human beings, but the more the collective ascends, the more the planet ascends, and we ascend as one. And so many of you might have heard about the Mayans who suddenly apparently just disappeared from one day to the next. And they talk about the fact that the Mayans were able to elevate their frequency so high that as a collective, they were able to jump into a whole other dimension. And this is what is happening on the earth. We have been talking about shifting into fourth dimension, into fifth dimension, but this takes time. This doesn't happen overnight. And this is a process that has been going on for, again, as I say, thousands of years. But so we at this time are the ones who are experiencing it happening on this physical dimension, because since the time that Jesus Christ walked upon this earth, this is when the shift began, because they say that Jesus Christ was the key, because he came to show us what it is to embody true faith in God. Because the only reason, and this is even what the teachings of Jesus Christ said, he said that it was not him who healed, but because he had 100% complete faith in his Father God, the universe, that he was able to allow the universe to work through him and allow these miracles to take place. And so he even said that we would be able to do even greater things than he did, because he was one man who walked the planet at that time. But the more people awaken, the more we wake up to see what is happening, the more we wake up to our power, the more we allow our power to move through us and not allow our power and our energy and our awareness to be taken away. And this is the thing, because of the narrative that keeps being pushed, the mainstream narrative that is pushed on the internet, that is pushed on mainstream media, that is pushed on social media, the fact that there is so much censoring, you have to question, why is there so much censoring? Why is there? And yes, people can say that there are so many conspiracy theorists who are saying absolute crazy things, but the fact that, all these big companies are having to work so hard to literally censor what people are saying, you have to question why. Don't take anything that people say at face value. Even what I'm telling you, don't just accept what I'm telling you. Go and do your research and make the decision for yourself. And this is why I have been saying it is essential that you have a spirit of discernment to be able to really tune in through your intuition, because your intuition will never lead you astray. And this is what these past few years have been coming to tell us, that we have to learn to tune into our intuition, because we are tuning into the higher frequencies. And even for you out there who might not be super spiritual, how many times did your inner voice tell you something and you ignored it, and then you said, oh shit, I should have listened to that voice? Because that voice will never lead you astray. The problem is that we have been programmed to look at the world through a lens of negativity, to look at the world through a lens of fear. And when we have so much fear, again, remember, everything is about vibration. The vibrational frequency that you are at is completely determined by your thoughts and your emotions. So think about what the news does. The news implants negative thoughts as well as negative emotions into your body. And I don't watch the news because it's like, why am I going to go and feel so depressed about something that I can do absolutely nothing about? That is just going to drop my frequency, and that is going to make me feel shitty, and therefore that is going to change the way I look at the world, change the way I show up in the world, change the way I think, change the way I behave. So this is why I have been saying for weeks now on these videos, and for months even, that it is so important that you take back control of your thoughts. And the easiest way to take control back of your thoughts is to stop exposing yourself to things that are not elevating you, things that are not making you feel good about yourself, because essentially what is happening now is that humanity is going through a period of great healing. And the thing is, we are healing generations and generations and generations of trauma and pain and lies and deceit and slavery. Because as much as we thought that slavery ended when the slave trade was abolished, this is absolute bullshit. It's just that slavery has taken another form where we are indebted to the financial system. How many people are in debt because they needed to take student loans, or because they needed to take a loan to buy a house, or to buy a car, or just to have the basic necessities? I'm sorry to break it to you, but I don't know what God you're talking to. I don't know who you're praying to. I don't know what higher frequencies you are tuning into, but the ones that I tune into, they are ones that are very, very good. They are ones that are of love. They are ones that want us to see us grow, want us to see us elevate, want us to experience love and joy and happiness, not fucking paying bills and paying taxes to governments who don't give a fuck about us and who don't give a shit about us, and the pharmaceutical industry who wants nothing but to poison us and to kill us. And how many people actually die because they take the wrong medication? And it's really interesting. I watched a documentary not so long ago that showed that pharmaceutical companies, when they are developing new drugs, they only test up to about 6 months. What are the long-term outcomes if we take this medication for up to 6 months? So it makes me think about all these people who are on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication or blood thinners or whatever medication that you are on for I don't know how many years. There is literally no evidence, no scientific research to prove how this affects you. So why is it that we are seeing such a rise in things like ADD and ADHD and autism and all these things that are happening with our children? Because it's not about our generation, it's about the generations below us. And really, when I look to the future, I mean, previously it didn't look so great, but when I think about the children, it's easy for us to say, oh, well, we don't really care if the world goes to shit because we're not going to be here to experience it. But for all you people out there who have children, is that really the legacy that you want to leave to your children? What are you teaching your children? Are you even aware of what your children are being taught? Because it seems that nowadays humanity is so quick to outsource the education and their parenting of their children to other people because, well, let's just be honest, they just don't seem to have the time. But again, I'm sorry, these are the stories you're telling yourself, because the stories that humanity seems to be telling themselves are stories which are leading us in the very wrong direction. Because we want to keep telling ourselves that we are good people, but look at the state of the world. We are not good people if this is the current state of the world. How can we walk past people who are starving and dying on the streets and turn a blind eye and say, oh, well, that's not my problem? And so this message, I guess, is really out there. I want to share this message really now to the people out there who are more fortunate financially and who have the ability, because really at the end of the day, the biggest problems of the world today are at the highest levels of society. The people who supposedly are the ones making the decisions, the people who supposedly we, the 99% of humanity, have put these people up there to control the whole fucking world. How is this possible? Well, the way we've made this possible is by continuing to give our time, energy, resources to things that do not give a shit about us. How is it possible that in this day and age, more people can tell me what the Kardashians have been up to rather than that what is actually happening in the city that they live? This is absolutely fucking crazy. And I'm sorry that I'm going a little bit crazy here today, but it is important that we speak the truth. It is so important because for so long, humanity has been pushing all their shit underneath the carpet, and even pushing every one of us individuals have been pushing our proverbial shit under the carpet because we don't want to look at it. We just want to pretend that we're a good person, and it's so much easier to say, oh, well, that person did this and that person did this and that person did this, and what they did is so much worse than what I did, so what I did is okay. No, it's not like that. Either you are doing good or you are not. It's just that fucking simple. It's just that black and white. Yes, I said that everything is certain shades of gray, and it is to a certain extent. But when it comes to this, there is only good or not good. And right now, that is what is happening with humanity. We are being asked to be awakened to the fact that there is so much nefarious shit going on right in front of our noses, but because it is veiled somehow, we can't really see it. It is incredible the shit that they put in cartoons. It is incredible the amount of stuff that is going on in cartoons, but because it's made to look so innocent, and because the parents don't watch cartoons, you have no clue what your kids are watching. You have no clue what your kids are being taught in school. It is shocking. It was interesting. A friend of mine told me that one of her friends, this was in Belgium, one of her friends, after working for years at the UN, had to quit the UN because she had children, and the UN was somehow included or part of this bigger agenda of LGBT, whatever, and pushing this transgender agenda. And so, really, if we break it down, and the thing is, like, yeah, people might hate on me, and let me just say this really straight up: I have no issue with gay people. I have absolutely no issue with gay people. But if you want to be gay, why do you need to start changing your sex? Yes, they're making this all normalized where even children are being given the right to change their sex. How can a child possibly know what is good for them, to have the ability to make the decision that they can go and fully change their sex? They can go and butcher their body and change their sex. And what most things won't show you is, yes, many people are going ahead with this whole transgender agenda, but what they don't tell you is how many people regret it. So we have to take a stand, because what is happening now is that what is happening in this world is going against the natural way of the world. It is going against God. It is going against the natural order of things. And some of you may have heard about Atlantis, and some of you may think that this was a mythical place, but Atlantis was a very real place. Atlantis was also a place of existence where the Golden Age took place. But why did Atlantis fall? And what happened to Atlantis? Well, Atlantis, basically, even the Bible talks about the flood of Noah. And Atlantis also had to fall. And why did Atlantis fall? Because the people who were in power, essentially the scientists, and let's not forget, during a few years back when we had all the lockdowns and everyone was saying, follow the science, follow the science. I'm sorry, you had to be pretty fucking stupid to follow the science when it takes years and years to develop this thing that they put in the arm. It takes years and years and years to develop one. How was something, when this virus was supposedly continuing to mutate, suddenly this thing was already in existence? How does that make any sense? That is not scientific, because if you followed the science, actual science from before, the way science actually was done, that doesn't make any fucking sense. So we are going against the natural way of the world, and those scientists were going against the natural order of things. They were starting to develop chimeras, basically where they were splicing different gene codes together, and they were creating things that were completely non-natural. And what you have to understand is, by changing the genetic DNA of a human being, that makes you what? Genetically modified. What are we seeing? Genetically modified animals, genetically modified foods, genetically modified human beings. Therefore, you are no longer natural. So can you see what I mean by we are going against the natural order of things? And this is the same things that were being done within Atlantis. And why do you think our history has been changed and we have been lied to? Because when we don't remember our history, we cannot see when it is happening directly in front of us. And what is happening now is history is repeating itself. History is repeating itself on that level. They say that when the Great Flood came, in Noah's story in the Bible was because, again, there were many non-natural entities that were walking this earth, and as a result they needed to be washed away. And if you see at this time right now, again, we are seeing many floods happening around the world. We are seeing a lot of seismic activity. We are seeing a lot of man-made structures falling. Because why? Because earth also, you have to understand, beautiful souls, there are many, many, many different dimensions. And there is judgment happening at every different dimension. From the highest levels of society, we're seeing more and more with the Epstein list, and everyone who thought that when we were talking about all these pedophilic giant elite rings that were being that all these things were conspiracy theorists. Oh, well, happy to say now that these things are coming out and the truth is coming out, and Judgment Day is here. Revelations are coming out. And I'm sorry if this is triggering a lot of you, but now it is time for people to know the truth. And you can decide which side of the truth you want to be on, because you can either be part of the truth or you can be against the truth. And it doesn't really matter, because the energy, that the shift that is happening, there is no stopping it. There is absolutely no stopping what is happening at this time. And so you can either, as I said last week, you can either take this time to get right with yourself, to get right with the Lord, to get right with your peace of mind. Because if you are in peace of mind with yourself, then you have nothing to fear, because Judgment Day is coming for those people, for those beings that are not at peace. The ones that have to inflict pain and suffering upon others in order to feel joy within themselves, because that is not normal. What kind of human being must you be to inflict pain on another human being and that makes you feel good? What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm sorry to say it to you. But right now, this is me talking to your demons, because yes, a lot of humanity is infested with demonic spirits, with parasitic energies coming through our food, with demonic entities coming through the movies that you watch, through demonic entities coming through the people that you frequent, through demonic entities and spirits coming through the alcohol and the drugs that you take. Why do you think that all this nefarious shit, even with the music, it's fucking crazy. For me, who used to be someone who used to go out and party a lot, nowadays I can't do it because I have gotten rid of my demons. I have gotten rid of my negative spirits. And when I go and I frequent these places, it is so dark and so dingy. When you listen to the music, the fact that all DJs are so completely fucked off their heads these days, it's like, what entities are controlling you? And this is what people don't realize, is that most of humanity is being led by demonic entities. So this is a time of cleansing. This is a time of purging. And when the lockdowns came, that was giving us an opportunity. That was the test for us to get right with ourselves. What steps have you been taking since then? Or did you just go back to life as usual because you were like, hey, now we can travel again, now we can move around? Yeah, but let me tell you, something is coming, my friends. Something big is coming. And I'm not saying here to scare you, because this thing is only going to affect the people who are not right with their hearts, who are not right with their Lord, who are not right with their spirit. Because I'm telling you, Judgment Day is here. And the shit that we are about to see is going to wake up a lot of humanity. But I am not trying to make you fearful here. I am simply sharing these messages so that you can do what you need to do in order to get right with yourself, in order to get right with your spirit, in order for you to be in a place of peace, in a place of love, in a place of compassion, in a place of humanity. Because it seems that we have lost our humanity, we have lost our morals, we have lost our way. If you are in a position to help another human being, help another human being, because it is shocking the amount of selfishness that pervades this planet. People will go around saying that they're good human beings, but yet still, when people are dying, when people are suffering, they'll turn a blind eye and pretend all is well. Pretend that because they've given a few extra cents here, I'm sorry, but you need to start reevaluating what is going on in your life, how you are living your life. What story are you telling yourself? Is this story really trying to help you, make you feel like you're a good person, or are you really a good person? Are you having to do certain things to make yourself feel like you're a better person? Go and do those things, because now there is no more playing. It is either you are with God or you are against God. It is really just that simple. And there is no stopping these energies. And I am telling you that the things that I have seen, for those of us who are of the light, it is a time of joy. It is a time of great celebration. For those of us who have been praying and waiting for the day that Judgment Day will come, for all of you who have been hurt and who have been wounded and have experienced suffering at the hands of another, and who prayed and prayed and believed that one day the wrath of God would come down and smite these people, that day is here, my friends. So let me share this message. So as I said, the message that came through the quantum healing session I had was from the Andromedan spiritual council of light. And so the Andromedan are beings from a higher frequency who are up from, so they vary in frequency again, but they come in from the 7th frequency up to the 12th frequency. So remember, as I said, that there are millions of beings that are helping us. There are millions of beings that are aiding us in this process. And those of us who are of pure heart, those of us who are of pure intentions, those of us who are of pure unconditional love in our heart, the things that are coming are beautiful. The things I have seen are beautiful. So you have nothing to fear if you are in peace with the Lord. So, a message to all of humanity. The world is going through a period of great transition, and 2024 is the year where we go through the birthing process. We are getting ready to experience something that goes far beyond our imagination, for we have entered a frequency that has not been seen on Earth for millennia. Magic is coming back to this dimension. The past 9 years can be compared to the 9 months gestation period of a human, as humanity needed time to prepare for this transition. Yes, so they were showing me that essentially it's like the earth is going through a birthing process, and the earth has been pregnant with this new frequency. But the more that this frequency is being anchored into as many individuals as possible, the more we will transition. And we are going through the birthing process, and 2024 is the year that earth will birth this new earth, birth this new frequency, this frequency that has magical frequencies imbibed in it, which is why we are going to see quantum leaps, quantum shifts that are happening at this time. So this is why we have been experiencing many great shifts, especially as wellness and spirituality have become more mainstream. Yes, we might have seen, at least for me, I have seen a lot more people become more open to these things that used to be previously considered very woo-woo. What you see happening on the news is the physical manifestation of the shifts in frequency as the earth is being cleansed of all that is not in alignment with these new frequencies. Yes, things that, and again, you can watch movies. The movies are telling us. The movies have literally been telling us and preparing us for what is to come. The earth is cleansing and getting rid of anything that is not in vibrational frequency, with the frequencies of the new earth are being cleansed out. But now, obviously, God doesn't want everyone to die. And of course, there is no such thing as death, because reincarnation is real. And our soul is what truly lives. Yes, the vessel, the physical body dies, but our soul never dies. So as long as we have lived a life of pureness and a life of clarity and a life of good, in alignment with the divine teachings of the divine, then when we die, our soul evolves. Though if we do not learn, then our soul devolves, which is why people keep reincarnating, because we have to keep learning those lessons until our soul is ready to move on. So essentially, earth is like a school where we come to learn certain lessons and we come to allow our soul to evolve. And the best example I can give here is, yes, we all know what love is, but we don't really know what love is until we experience it. And so as we embody in these physical vessels, because when we are a soul being, we are all one frequency. They say that we all came from the same source. And so when we incarnate in this physical body, we are individual. We experience life as an individual. So we can experience things deeply for ourselves. We experience it in the mind, in the body, in the soul, in the emotions, at all levels of density, at all levels of dimensions. And so essentially, now our soul came here so that we can fully embody these teachings and we can fully know these teachings for ourselves, because there's things that we know out there, and then there's the things that we know deeply within ourselves. So the truth of the history of this planet is coming out. And because the lie has been so big, it will shock many. So we have been helping the information trickle in slowly so that humanity could receive the information without fear when the time is right. Yes, people had to slowly evolve. Otherwise, it would be complete fucking chaos. For those of us who've been wanting the shift to happen now, it's like, when is it going to happen? Especially those of us who are light workers, we're also impatient because we know deeply within our beings, we know that something big is coming. But we as the light workers, we had to be the ones, essentially, it's like there is a new language that is being downloaded, and we are the interpreters. We are here to help humanity comprehend that the changes that are happening, as much as they may seem really uncomfortable and really terrible when we look at everything that's happening on the news, these shifts are actually leading us somewhere positive. And it's interesting because at the start of 2020, the messages that I received really, really deeply was, it is always darkest before the dawn and Africa rising. And again, what is happening is, as we are also going through what is called the precession of the equinoxes, where the earth is tilting on her axes and where north is coming south and south is moving north, essentially the earth is coming back into her original, because what happened, and oh my gosh, there's so much information, but essentially they talk about the moon being fake. I'm not going to get into this too much here. I'll do another video on it at a later time. But essentially, when the moon was created, and the moon is a gigantic creator, is I don't even know the word, is basically a gigantic construct that was created that changed the vibrational frequency of the earth and shifted the earth on her axis, taking the vibrational frequency of this planet out of its natural homeostasis. And this is why we have seen so much chaos on the earth. But essentially, earth is coming back into alignment. Earth is coming back into her original frequency. And as a result, this is what we are seeing, which is why we are seeing where suddenly people are seeing all kinds of new species coming out. This is both in plant and animal life. People are seeing all kinds of supernatural activities taking place. And this is because, again, the things that are coming, many people, especially those of us who have been not spiritual and those of us who cannot see with our first eye and who are only seeing with our physical eyes, we have to open our minds and our hearts also. So yes, a lot of what is going to be seen is going to shock a lot of people, but this has had to happen slowly and gradually so that humanity can receive these messages without it just being complete and utter chaos. So God, the universe, and billions of higher frequency beings are aiding in this transition. We love humanity greatly and want to see you freed from thousands of years of suffering and tyranny, yet you continue to place yourselves in a gilded cage, not allowing yourselves to be fully free. Michael Jackson said it free. Oh, no, not Michael Jackson, sorry, Bob Marley. Free yourselves from mental slavery. Yes, the way we use our mind, the things, this is why they say knowledge is power. Because if, again, I love the saying, we don't know what we don't know. But unless we go looking for what we don't know, we can't open our minds up. And those people who are, and especially, for me, I've been on this journey since 2017 where I really took the time to open my mind. I was someone who was so close-minded. And had you told me any of these things a few years ago, I would have told you that you were batshit crazy. But the more that I have opened my mind, the more that God, the universe, has guided me, spirit has guided me to information that has opened me up, the more that I have healed my vessel, I have healed my emotions, I have healed my trauma, I have been able to open up to receive information that is coming from higher dimensions, to share information that is so needed for this transition. And so I just want to tell you, you do not need to be fearful of what is taking place at this time. The more you are in alignment with your mind, the more you are in alignment with your emotions. And this is why we are being asked to go into healing, to tune into ourselves, to see what's going on in our mind, to stop allowing our mind to control us, to stop allowing outside things to take our focus and awareness away from us. How many of us are glued to our phones that we can't do anything? We can't even have conversations with each other because we're so glued to our phone. What are you learning on your phone? Unless you are learning brain science or something that is actually going to be relevant to you, what the fuck are you doing on your phone? Is this really helping you? Because if you're scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through Facebook, there is scientific evidence to prove that when we're scrolling, our mind is actually switched off. And when our mind is switched off, that makes us so much more open to receiving information. And so basically we are being brainwashed by all these social media platforms, because we're basically going brain dead when we're just scrolling aimlessly and not even aware of how this is affecting our neural pathways. So open your hearts and open your mind, so your spiritual eye may show you past the illusion, so you may be fully free in this world and the next. For millions of souls have been trapped in the cycle of reincarnation. Yes, and this is where ancient Egypt plays a great role, because the ancient Egyptians fully understood that they came into this world to prepare for death. This is even what the Emerald Tablets of Thoth talk about. It is about preparing to move into the next world, because when this physical body dies, our soul goes somewhere. Yes, we talk about either heaven or hell, but heaven or hell also exists in this physical dimension. How many of us have experienced hell in our physical reality? I think most of us are experiencing hell with the system that we live in the system that continues to promote the gain of people who step on people and who tear people down. Just look at the state of the world around us. And we can also experience heaven when we experience love, and when we're connected, and when we experience deep joy and deep bliss. That is us experiencing heaven on this dimension. So heaven and hell exist on every single dimension. So the way you live in this world is going to determine where your soul goes in the next world. And I can tell you this, if you think that this is hell, hell in the soul realm is so much fucking worse. So if you want to ensure that your bloodline is not being cursed, that generations of your bloodline is not being cursed, then you need to change what you are doing in this physical reality. So I want to pull some messages of guidance from the angels here just to help you move through. And it's very interesting because yesterday, Pluto, a planet that spends, I can't remember how many years it spends in a sign, but it spends quite a lot of time in a sign. I think it's like 20 years. And so Pluto, that has been sitting in Capricorn, which is an earth energy for many, many years, moved into Aquarius. We talk about moving out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Remember, Aquarius is higher mind, higher thinking. Aquarius is an air sign, and so air is all to do with intellect. And so Aquarius, the archetype of Aquarius, is about using your higher mind to do things to advance the collective rather than the individual. And so this is where the rise of technology is going to help us. I mean, look at all the things that happened since the internet came into play. Well, now with AI, and again, if we are using AI correctly, then AI is also going to skyrocket us into the next chapter of human evolution, where we are going to see many, many changes that are happening. And another message I want to share very, very quickly here is that, remember, as much as there seems to be a lot of darkness going on in the world around us, remember that there is one divine creator. And the divine creator created everything that is, whether this was something that was of light or something that was of darkness. And just like sometimes the darkness needs to play a role, we are going through a period of destruction so that something else may be birthed. Just like when the woman births her child, it is very fucking painful and it is very uncomfortable, the 9 months that she goes through, but she doesn't not love her child for the pain that she has gone through. In fact, women say that when they've given birth, they completely forget about the pain, because the love that they have for their child is so overwhelming. And that is what is happening now, that Mother Earth is destroying certain things because she has love for us, because she wants us to experience a life of love and joy, and no longer one of slavery and whatever the shit is that we've been living in. So let's see what messages of guidance the angels have for us to close out this message. Oh, quite a few cards. Let me take this part here as they popped out first. So the first card we have is Power of Prayer. Give the situation to God for uplifting and healing, and be open to miracles. Yes, remember, ask and you shall receive. The more that you believe that you are worthy of receiving what you are asking for. This is the process that you go through by learning to heal your mind, your thoughts, and your emotions. Because if you do not believe you are worthy, then your blessings cannot find you. And this is why many people, many things might have been falling out of your life. And it's because those things were keeping you in a lower vibrational frequency that is not allowing you to connect with your blessings. Heaven's unlimited resources, love, and answers are awaiting your prayers. Be sure to act upon the divine guidance God gives to you in response to your prayers. Yes, do not be afraid to pray. And now prayer comes in the form of many different ways. Meditation is a form of prayer. Journaling is a form of prayer. Writing gratitude lists is a form of prayer. So anything that works for you. Remember, when it comes to the spiritual, there is no one way. What works for you, what makes you feel good inside of you, is what is meant for you. So it is safe for you to receive. The more you allow yourself to receive, the more resources you have available to share with others. Yes, God wants to give you everything you need in order for you to be abundant. Remember, 2024 is an 8. 8 is infinity. 8 is all about abundance. The Lord, God, the universe wants you to be abundant, and not just financially, but in every sense of the word. But if you are not able to receive, again, if you do not believe that you are worthy, then you shall not be able to receive. Open your arms to receive and be a conduit for good coming to you and through you as it blesses the world. Yes, if what you are wanting to do, if what you are manifesting is going to benefit humanity, then these energies are going to catapult you forward, because the God, the universe, are blessing those of us who are in alignment with this higher plan. Dreams of abundance. As you sleep, God, your angels, and your higher self are giving you divinely guided ideas, answers, and solutions. Be sure to record your dreams in a journal, because they contain valuable insight that will help you manifest your desires into reality. Yes, beautiful souls, this is the year that whatever you have been manifesting is going to come down into this physical reality. 2024 is an important year because this is the year, with the shift of Pluto from Capricorn into Aquarius, is giving us the energy that we need to physically anchor into this world all that we have been feeling in the higher frequencies. This is the year where we really see the melding. Right now, the veil between the worlds is extremely thin. But be open, open your heart, open your mind, open your spiritual eye. And last of all, we have raise or promotion. Congratulations, an increase in your abundance flow awaits you. This is a result of your positive focus and willingness to take action based on your divine guidance. Keep up the good work. Yes, those of you who have been doing the work, and now really this message is not for everybody, but for those of you, and those of you who know, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you that have been doing the work, those of you who have been taking these years to align yourself with the higher frequencies of the divine, I am here to tell you that your blessings are here. Your blessings are here, and this is the year that you must open your heart to receive all that you have been giving out. Everything that you have been giving out has been accumulating, so that now, at this time, you may fully reap your karma. So, beautiful souls, I know this has been an intense message, but if you resonate with this message, if you are one of the chosen, if you are in alignment with the light, then give it a like so I can see how big this community is growing, because we are here about creating a community. It is essential that we learn to support one another. So even if you are resonating with this message, you can just share a white heart in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your story, what you are experiencing, and just anything that you have been experiencing. Please feel free to reach out with any questions. And if you need support on your journey, then I am here to assist you. You can check out the link to my website down below, where my sister and I, we offer spiritual guidance through our spiritual concierge service, where we help you essentially to get in alignment. We help you to get in alignment and to open yourself up to receive that the blessings that are also destined for you, that are may not reaching you at this time because you are not yet in the vibration of those blessings. So please like and share this video, subscribe to the channel if you want to receive more messages, and share this video with whoever you feel might benefit from these messages. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye for now.